Thanks. See you Thursday. Don't worry, I have it on mute. Oh, maybe I don't. See, okay, so this is the part I don't get when I'm doing this slideshow.
Will do.
Hi, Karen. This is Doug Yeager.
Hey, Doug, how are you?
Good. Tried out the new video in the car.
You're in your car? Okay.
I'm not driving. But
Okay. Well,
on the
that's good.
wheel.
Okay, I appreciate that though, that you're not driving on me. We'll just give everybody a couple minutes to get on.
Hello. Thought I'd just say hello too.
Oh, hey, Marlene, it's Karen.
Hi, Karen. Been a long
Hey.
time.
I know. I saw your name and I was like, I remember her. Believe I'm still here.
Yep. I'm happy to see that.
Yeah, well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Mhm. Carolyn's in the background if anyone wants to say hi. There she is. I don't know. You can kind of see you way there in the background. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Ashley, can you hear me okay?
Yep, all good.
Oh, I can't hear you, but that's okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started, and then anybody who jumps on. I guess just if Ashley's going to help moderate, so if anything's happening during the call, like you can't hear me, the slides aren't advancing, you have a quick question, just use the chat feature and Ashley will answer your question. Otherwise, we'll save questions till the end. Okay, so this is just what we're going to cover today, just a little bit about Latin Soccer, where we are today, key context policies, communicating with your team, and some program formats and rule variations. And I know probably 80% of you, uh-oh, that just happened, hold on. Chris Stanley is signing me out, hold on. Can you guys still see me? My Zoom thing's popping up, hold on.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can see you and hear you.
No, I think it's okay. Ashley's still working all right?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, all right. my Zoom etiquette. Don't let somebody else Zoom in on you. Don't use the whiteboard. And yeah, just use this little chat feature at the top if you need to make any comments during the session. Just a new little chart that Darren put together, just to kind of give you guys an idea of Loudon Soccer and where we start. I don't know if you guys have met Mac Brody, Kayla. She is running our preschool kindergarten minis program where we start at, and then we move up to Rec 1, U7, Rec 2 Challenge, all the way up to where you guys are, which is classic in high school. So most of you guys have been around the block like I have. So you guys know we have 2 seasons, fall and spring, gearing up for spring here. We do have all these little extra things. This Rec Goalkeeper Academy, for those of you who have not sent anyone to that before, it is free. You just have to register for it ahead of time. And you can send 1 kid, you can send 4 kids. And as a coach, you can even come and watch some of the drills if you want to learn anything about how to instruct your goalkeeper. We also have the speed and agility, which is good for the older kids. The All-Stars doesn't fall in your age group. Okay, online coaching support. This is our generic link, but I'm gonna just click on it here for a second. Hopefully it'll take me to the right spot. Oh, scary, concern, I don't care. I just want to kind of show you guys where everything is. I don't know if you guys have noticed, we have a new marketing and social media person, and so we're trying to spruce up the website just a bit. But we used to have the coaching info under About. It's now under the Rec drop down. And there's 3 different tabs. The info center, where
If
you're
if you think you're sharing a screen, you're only sharing the slide.
Volunteering, which you've already done. Downloading the Game Changer app, just kind of basic information. If you go back up to coaches and go to the education center, there
Hey,
you're going to
Karen,
find
that's
more
not
specific
showing the
documents.
website.
Some team management documents, some coaching education resources, a video library. And maybe on the next slide or to come, I'll be talking about a new app that Darren is actually going to demo on Thursday nights.
Hey, Karen, do you have everybody muted?
Okay, so I got to go back to where I was.
Apparently she does.
Knew I was going to do that.
I don't have text on me, but she might see the text. She might not hear us.
Anyways, that's a good place for you guys to go and get information before you reach out to me or Ashley. Check there first. Okay, so on top of tonight, this weekend we have Thursday night's a special topic. Okay, it's called the Coaching Manual, and I just found out about this today. So I know like one tiny little percent about it. It's basically an app that will allow you to store coaching plans, so that when you go out onto the field, you can have your plan on your phone and you can look up whatever you want. So Darren is going to be hosting that, and I think the people who own Coaching Manual will actually be running the demo. So it would definitely be worthwhile to log in at that time. And then for you guys on the screen here, for you guys on Saturday, Classic in high school, this is a change from the original time, so just make sure to note that. 11 a.m. you'll be on the field for a training module at Loudon Soccer Park, and then 12 o'clock will be equipment pickup, which we hope will be over in the commuter parking lot like we did previously. It will just depend on weather. If anything changes with that, we'll let you know. And then if you can't come on Saturday, Sunday we have equipment pickup only, so you're welcome to come then. Okay, so we're going to quickly go through team rosters and a couple other little things. So the first button, Ashley and I have already done that. We made the decision to put out the high school and the challenge rosters this past Friday. And I'm kind of glad we did, because we made a lot of changes. So if you're a high school coach and you're on this call, Make sure you check your roster. We had a lot of players that either, wanted a certain coach but forgot to request it, or live in Ashburn and got put on a team in Percival. And I would like to request if all the high school age coaches could stay on at the end. Just want to have a quick conversation about rosters and practice schedules. Classic coaches, your rosters will be available this Friday. And we're so full except for girls 7th grade. And high school girls, we still have room. But if your friend, if you have a son and they have a friend, there's no room. We're completely packed. Okay, so let's say you don't have an assistant coach, but someone comes up to you and says, hey, I want to help out. I want to be your assistant. They must go through our system first so that we can run a background check. And then as soon as we get them officially assigned to your team, they can help out. We should all know by now what their required equipment is. We will have this Saturday and Sunday, we'll have bags ready for you, and we'll have the jerseys, the kids' jerseys, along with the coaches' shirts. And hopefully we'll have balls. We're waiting for soccer balls to come in, but everything else we should have. Again, they need cleats. There's no jewelry. Hard casts are at the discretion of the referee. I get that question every year, a couple times during the season. Dick's Sporting Goods will be having their discount days again. It's April 7th through 11th. And they're doing it an extra day because I think one of those days is Easter and they won't be open. So they're extending that through that Monday. Again, we talked about the uniforms. They'll be available. I put 325, but it's 325 or 326. If you're unable to come this weekend, you can just let me know and Ashley will, put your bag aside for you for later. Okay, heading again at Classic and high school, heading is allowed. Just keep in mind, if someone does have a concussion, this is what you need to do about it. If the family takes the child to the doctor and they say, yes, you do have a concussion, they cannot return to play until they have a note from the doctor. Slide tackling, we just put this in here really for the younger kids, but it is allowed in Classic and high school. Weather and field alerts. Hate weather and field alerts, but I'll knock on wood, it won't rain, right? But again, just bear in mind, you'll get a note from Sports Connect if the fields are closed. And unless you checked a box that said you don't want to get notifications, you might not get a notification. But otherwise, you should get notified. And we also update our website with field closures, so you can always check there. A team communication, the head coach is the primary point of contact with the team. Not to say that we won't communicate with the assistant coach, but sometimes it gets confusing if I'm communicating with 2 people. So if as the head coach, you're busy during the day and you're in a place where you can't use your phone or personal computer and you want someone else to be the person in charge of communication, like your spouse or an assistant coach, just let me or Ashley know who that person is so that we're aware of that's who the main communicator will be with your team. Game Changer app. Some of you, hopefully most of you used that last year. It is a free app that you can download. I don't know much about the Game Changer app. I just know that if I make a change, sometimes it doesn't change on your app. So if for example, let's say you downloaded your roster already into the Game Changer app, and then Ashley or I made a change to your roster, I'm not sure if it will update automatically on the Game Changer. So you might just have to keep an eye on that. Okay, so just important dates that I was talking about a few minutes ago, but let's just go through and make sure we all know what's coming up. So Thursday night is the special topic that we now know. It's the Common App, or is that what it's called? The Common something. See, I've forgotten what it's called already. Rosters will be released on Friday for those that don't have it yet. When we say schedules released, that's practice schedules. They will most likely be out on Friday also, but just in case, they'll be out over the weekend. April 5th, I'll have the game schedule posted for you. And then practices don't start until April 10th this season. We did that because of spring break. Last spring, we tried doing practice the week before, and then you have spring break and you start over again, and it just didn't work. Not enough people were around. So we decided to wait. And then the first game will be April 15th. There'll be no games or practices Memorial Day weekend. And then the playoffs for Classic and high school will be June 3rd. Okay, so segue into playoffs. June 3rd, all teams participate. Again, it's your end of season event. So you're going to have in the spring, our standard game schedule is 7 games. So you're going to have 6 preliminary games, of which we are going to keep standings. And then I'm going to make the multiple brackets to be formed based on those standings. And then you're going to have the playoffs on the 3rd, and it will either be one championship game or it'll be a semifinal and then a final game. And that'll probably get posted. What I normally try and do is maybe like a month before then, I post a bracket of like, this is probably what it's going to look like. And you'll have a good idea of where your team stands. So you'll know, oh, I'm probably going to be at Ida Lee, but you won't know the times and the exact location until all the standings are in after May 20th. Which is actually good because it gives you 2 weeks. You'll have that break on May 27th. Okay, practices. Again, you get half the field unless you're practicing at 8 o'clock at night. You might get the whole field. Again, you lead the session. We talked about the online session plans, and just to make sure end on time, especially if you're practicing at some place like Hanson Park, the new facility, or someplace that we have booked people one right after another. Don't just make sure you get off and maybe do a 5-minute wrap up on the sideline so the other team can get started. We kind of talked about the date the schedules would be published, but always, it's a good point, always check back to make sure something hasn't been changed at the last minute. This could be due to a variety of things, but rain, Parks and Rec closing a location based on, I don't know, blackout, they're having a parade somewhere, it could be all kinds of things. So just always make sure to double check your schedule online, not in the Game Changer app, but online, to make sure that there haven't been any last minute changes. Game reschedules. If you know right now of something, and I'll give you an example. I'm getting married on May 6th. I'm having a baby on May 13th. It's something big. It's my 50th birthday, whatever. If you know something right now where you're going to have a conflict on a specific Saturday, if you tell me now, it's easier for me to work around that schedule than waiting till the Wednesday before. So if you do have a conflict, again, try and get ahead of it, see if an assistant coach can fill in. If you don't have an assistant coach or someone that can fill in, then just reach out to me as far in advance as you can. We'll get it worked out. What to bring on game day? Obviously your coach equipment, which we're going to load you up with. Uniforms. Okay, so this is for through 8th grade. Home wears red and away wears white. Obviously with high school, you wear whatever color is in your bag. You want to get there, at least 20 minutes ahead of time to be prepared. Wait until the previous team departs the field. Of course, if they're just standing around chit-chatting, feel free to politely move them along. Try not to warm up in goal area because it gets the most use and wear. So try and warm up on the other areas of the field. and just say hello to the referees and the opposing coach, and get started. Okay, so as far as where to be on the day, so it used to be when we played in the SFL, every club kind of had their own rules, which they probably still do, but Latin soccer rules are basically team A and B on one touchline and spectators A and spectators B on the other touchline. It would also be great too if parents and spectators could get used to sitting back about 10 yards from the touchline. And I know some fields are narrow, like maybe there's a drop off here, so it's hard. Maybe you don't have 10 yards, but give room here for the assistant referee, assuming there is one. Same with the bench, as I'm going to call it over here. Get your kids used to kind of sitting off the touchline, to give you a little room to stand and to give the assistant referee a little room. Okay, so formats, really all you need to know, it's obviously 11v11. Grades 7 and 8, it's 2 35-minute halves, and grades 9 through 12, it's 2 40-minute halves. I did put, for game scheduling purposes, the game length, so the amount of time you actually have is an hour and a half before the next game starts. And for high school, I put an hour and 45 minutes. So you should have plenty of time, even if you're running a few minutes late, to get your game in and done on time. Just the laws of the game. I mean, you know, you can study the FIFA laws. The most important laws to know or rules are abridged rules. And that coach's info center I showed you a few slides back, the abridged rules are listed in there. So make sure, you know, you have those handy. Sometimes what'll happen is you might get a ref that is coming from a U12 6th grade game, and now they're going to ref a U14, you know, boys game, and the rules are a little different. So it's kind of good to have them handy just in case they've missed something. Start a play and sub. So obviously you've got the coin toss. You can send in a captain. I would send somebody different in each time, but you're the coach. You can do what you want. Substitutions are made at stoppages and at the referee's discretion. So basically your teams throw in, the opposing teams throw in, if they're also subbing, any goal kick, any kickoff, injury, 1-for-1, and at halftime. So these are good things to know because they're different. Like I think in high school, you can sub during a corner kick. You can't sub during a corner kick here. So these are good things to know. On playing time, this is still, even though like it's U19 boys at the highest level, we still, you know, want every kid to try and get 50% playing time. So if they're attending at least one practice a week, give them their 50% playing time. Doesn't mean the time has to be equal. So let's say you only have 15 kids showed up, you're gonna have a lot of kids playing more than 50%. But sometimes you have 21 kids on your team. So if they all show up, I know it's gonna be tough. So what I would do is, again, this is just what I would do, but let's say one week I realized I didn't play Johnny enough. I would just make sure the next week I give Johnny more time. So just try and make it, you know, as equal as you can throughout the season so that I don't get phone calls from people who aren't happy. They might be happy their team's winning, but they might not be happy that their kid is sitting on the bench. And I know as the kids get older, they get specific at their positions. But if a goal, you know, if they're a goalkeeper, I would ask them, well, do you want field time? Then give them some field time. Now, if it's U14, that's a different story. They need to get both. But if it's a U19 and they only want to be a goalkeeper, I don't have a problem with that. So hopefully that made sense because I said that really fast. Again, this kind of following up on that. So especially with the U13 and U14, so the 7th and 8th grade, try and rotate the players. Don't get people like pegged in a certain spot. You can do these different in each game. Like one game, you know, Johnny's the forward, maybe the next game he's playing midfield. And just try and like move them around to give them different experiences. But believe me, I totally get it when, you know, your 16-year-old girl will say, nope, I only play defense. you know, and if you're okay with that and she's okay with that, that's fine. Play balance, we don't have a rule like, you know, the younger kids, like where we're adding extra players or anything in the field, but I will tell you that when your score gets posted, I want you to send me the exact score. Like, let's say it was 10-0. You won 10-0. I'm going to put that in, but the way the system's going to enter it, it's going to show it as 4-0. So please don't email me and say, hey, Karen, you got that wrong. It was 10-0. We're capping it at 4 goals. So winning by more than 4, there's no advantage. If you want to win 5-1 or 6-2, but you know, 7-2 and 6-2, there's no difference. So just kind of keep that in mind. I know sometimes games are just lopsided and it is the way it is. You know, the best thing to do is to rotate people around, maybe let your goalkeeper play forward or somebody who's never scored before. You know, you say, hey, you've got to head it to Johnny so that he can head it in. You guys could come up with some, hopefully you won't be in that situation, but if you are, just try and come up with some innovative ways to still make the game fun for both teams. Just a little bit more on that. Okay, so score reporting. Ashley and I are going to put together a Google survey similar to the one that we sent out last year, but we're gonna try and clean it up a little bit. So we'll send that out before the first game. And I will say there are some of you that are really good about it. You play on Saturday and by Sunday night, your score's on there. There's other of you, I don't think I've ever gotten a score from you. Because I don't know if some people think the winning coach is supposed to report it, but what I want is for both coaches to report the score. That way I can double check that the score is accurate. Because if I get a score that, you know, one person says it was 6-1 and the other said it's 4-2, I'll probably reach out to you and say, hey, I got this discrepancy, you know, what was the score? So I really want everyone to try and use the Google survey. Like, it's super helpful. And you'll know if you're not doing it because I'll be emailing you and asking you for the score. And again, no need to run up the score. Refs, we've talked about refs for a year. I don't know, do we know this man? Maybe we need a new picture. I can't remember ever seeing him out on the field, but we'll see how things go. The first Saturday, we had a lot of travel home games on top of rec games. The good thing is the way our ref assigner works is they normally start at U19 and work their way down. So you tend to get the more experienced refs on the older games. So yeah, we're just gonna have to see how it goes. But again, you're not gonna do any yelling or criticizing. You're not gonna ask them for their name. Just say thank you. And if there's an issue, let me know afterwards, you know, what the issue is, and we can follow up, or I can follow up. You know, be a positive role model, 0 tolerance for ref abuse. And you'll know if I have found out this has happened because you'll get a call from Darren. You'll probably have to come in and talk to him about it. So yeah, as Dan Raven used to say, no knuckleheads. That was his favorite term. End of the game, you know, just good game. Thank the ref. Please clean the bench area and take the trash with you. Maybe have a parent on your team. You guys do a lot. Have a parent volunteer to be kind of the cleanup person at the end, or maybe for the U19 boys or girls, have the, you know, kids be in charge of that. And then if there's any issues, report them to me. We talked about the resources, the Coaches Info Center, the Education Resource Center, and then Thursday night, you're going to log into Darren's special presentation of whatever the thing was called. And then my email, which I'm sure you guys all have, and Darren's email. Okay. All right, that was the presentation. Now, give me 1 second. Make my screen a little bigger here so I can see you. Okay. Does anybody have a general question that would be helpful for the group? Feel free.
I have a quick question. If, or does this ever happen?
I can't hear you, Marlena.
Can you hear me now?
Maybe, oh, it's me.
We can hear her.
I'm
Yes.
sorry, it was me. I had my speaker thing off. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Does it ever happen that we're at the field ready to start the game and there is not a ref? And what do we do?
Okay, that's an excellent question. That does happen, but the good news is I know that ahead of time, 98% of the time, I would tell you. And I would tell you for high schools, ages, it's not gonna happen. Like, I'm gonna have a ref at your game.
That sounds good.
If it does happen, it's because like someone's sick or, you know, they've had a flat tire on the way there. Sometimes what will happen is you'll get two assistant refs and the head ref's not there, and then you just kind of have to sweet talk the assistant refs into centering. Sometimes they're just afraid to do it. You just have to kind of encourage them. But it rarely happens at the older age group.
And I just have one more question. I
Sure.
know that I can't make Thursday. My daughter has a game.
Okay,
Will that be recorded? Will
yes,
Darren
it will.
and
Yep.
share that? Okay.
Yep, it will. Awesome.
I mean, if you have a parent volunteer to ref and they haven't completed that safe sport, does that rule them out of that? Or for game days, you'll have a parent do linesman, or sometimes someone's ref before and you're like, okay, I'm fine with it. The other coach is fine with it.
If you and the other coach are okay with the parent reffing, you know, I'm okay with that. The whole lines person thing, the only thing I get leery about that is that's totally up to the center ref. They should just be calling when the ball goes out of bounds, like not offsides, you know, nothing else, you know, no pushing or whatever. But Doug, I'm okay with that as long as like the other coach agrees that it's okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, could you go back to the slide or just refresh my memory on
Yeah.
the direct versus indirect rules? I didn't see it in the abridged rules. Yeah, good
Oh,
talk.
geez, you're gonna ask me that? I am not.
I know it's on the slide, but it,
I think the
went
only time
pretty
it's
quick. I
direct
didn't
is
catch
like what is it, Matt? A foul is a direct kick. And an indirect kick is like, what, like a handball? Yeah. Yeah, like handling the ball would be an indirect kick. But like if you got pushed down or shoved, it would be a direct kick. And I think a direct kick, did they hold their hands straight in there? Oh, sorry, handball's a direct kick too.
Yeah.
That's telling me in the background. When they put their handle, that would go. Gary Wilhelm, are you on this call?
I mean, the biggest thing is for that is just ask the ref, is it direct or indirect? And they're going to rule it one way or another, and you're just going to have to live with it.
Yeah, sometimes they look at you though funny, like why don't you know that? I mean, I totally get what you're saying, but like I remember when my girl,
it's normally for the kids, so they know what to do.
yeah,
And so you just say, hey, is that direct or indirect? So they know what to play and not be like, oh, they
Right.
took a direct kick and the kids didn't know.
no, you were Phyllis, you were asking about, did I answer your question?
yeah, I think you had that defined on one of the slides.
Really? Did I just skip right over it?
I just,
I'll go back and look at that and answer you, but basically, you know, yeah, if it's a penalty, you're gonna get a direct kick. Indirect kicks are very rare.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, like offsides. Yeah. The peanut gallery back here is answering questions for me. ING. Okay, Michaela just told me anything that ends in ING is a direct kick, like kicking, pushing, shoving, handling. Actually, it's a great mnemonic device. I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay, any other group questions? Okay, so remember Saturday and Sunday equipment pickup. We'll let you know if our goal is if it's just drizzling, we'll still be in the commuter lot, but we'll have tents up over the equipment. Obviously we're on turf for the clinic, so just dress for the weather. If it's pouring, we'll come up with an option and we'll let you know what that option is.
Karen, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Quick, what was I gonna ask? Oh, yeah, quick question. The abridged rules for the game, where do we get those? Are those on the site?
Okay, so they're on the website. Hold on one second. Let me show you where they are.
I'm not gonna probably find them if they're there. I just know.
That's okay, I'll show you. Give me 1 second. That I can do. Okay, so under rec, coaches info center. It should be here. Oh yeah, you gotta keep scrolling. Someday we'll get this cleaned up. Let's see, practice schedules. Here we go. Preseason. So this is where the presentations will be, like this presentation will be uploaded, and here's the abridged rules.
Okay,
Oh, what age are you coaching?
5th grade and 7th grade.
Okay, so if you want the 7th grade one, let's just take a look at it just for the heck of it. Okay, so you got this nice little thing. You can just print it out or take a picture of it and have it on your phone. And it's just a little 2-page document.
Perfect. And
Yeah.
second comment over, I mean, I know you're saying that you guys are cleaning up the site and all that. As far as rain out or not rain out,
Mhm,
I don't know if you're gonna like what I'm gonna say, but
that's okay. Oh,
I feel like sometimes you guys wait so long to make that call, even though it's so apparent weather-wise,
mhm,
forecast-wise, and everything that it's
Mhm.
definitely gonna be a cancel.
yeah,
And then it finally comes in like literally sometimes just about at best an
Yeah.
hour before. And the second part B to that question is, I feel like, I mean, I do get the texts and that's nice, and I get the emails. But I feel like the website never reflects it in time.
okay. Those are all very valid points. A couple I'll touch on. If you're practicing at a park site, like a Bolin Park, Hanson Park, anything that the county runs, Raymuth, Potomac Green, Brambleton, I could list a whole bunch. We have to wait till they tell us. So if it's a day, let's say like today, and maybe there was a chance of rain, we obviously want to leave the fields open, but Parks and Rec could call us and say, it rained last night, we're closing Raymuth number 2. Someone will go check the field and tell us, sorry, we got to close that field. And they don't tell us until, sometimes it's 4 o'clock. They're supposed to tell us by 3 o'clock, but sometimes it's 4 o'clock. So that's kind of a holdup there. If you're practicing at a school location, which most of you probably are not, you're at like Army Intermediate, or trying to think of another large sided school, Stonehill or something like that. We are the ones that open or close those sites. And what's weird is those would probably stay open longer because they're not as nice as the park sites, and Parks and Rec likes to close their fields if it's raining. So that's kind of the timing of the whole thing. And again, our fields department makes the call. I will pass on the information about the website, because where that should be, since I'm on the website, give me 1 second.
I mean, I know where it is, but it's
Oh,
like
you do? Okay.
I keep hitting refresh.
Yeah. It's
and I
a
see
lot of,
nothing.
it's a lot of work in that when you go to this field status enclosures, let's see what it says. Click here. Oh, nope, never mind.
I mean, sometimes I
anyways,
just look at Parks and Rec
yeah.
site too.
Yeah, when you go here, see how green, so Ashburn Elementary School is open. Somebody here physically has to go in and like close the fields. And there's no button like close all the fields. So again, I'm not excusing anyone. It's just, and it's not my job or it's not Ash's job, but somebody has to do that. And sometimes if we don't find out till 4 o'clock and you have to practice at 5, it might be close to 5 when you're finding that out. So
Yeah, but we
again,
don't even see this. This is your editing version.
oh
right?
no, you can see this. I know that's editing, but you can see this. Oh, it shows differently. Hold on, look, you're right. Let me log out.
Yeah, I've never seen this page before.
It's the secret hidden special page.
Oh, I know.
Hold on. Fields directory. See? It's public. So it's under fields directory.
All right, I've never looked.
And
at
then
this.
it will actually even
Yeah.
tell you what else is nice. Like if you go to, let's just look at Conklin Park. It tells you what field should be there. It has the directions there. It's very handy.
Wow, how did I never see that? Okay. well,
You know
great.
what? You learn something new every day. There you go. Okay, anybody else? Going once?
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Karen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Does someone, I don't know if someone's talking, but if you're a high school age coach, could you stay on? Unless you've already gone off, just stay on for a minute. We'll talk in a second. The classic and younger, you guys can log off and I'll see you this weekend.
All right, Karen, thank you. See you on
Uh-huh.
Saturday.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, Karen.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye.
Nice kid in the background. I love it.